Hello there guys, here's a quick one for you for sloppy Saturdays. DawnsElite rocking the Demon Hunter versus old boy Antair playing the Warlock. Now Antair typically is an Ordo Malleus main, in particular he is a Demon Hunter main, but I don't think he has very much experience with Eldar, like at all. So this should be a relatively even game because DawnsElite, he is a fairly new player. I mean, he's initiate skill level. I don't know how many hours he has. Probably no more than 200. When he first started playing the mod, he was playing Ordo Malleus. Felt like they were too hard. Moved on to other factions, did a lot better. Especially Chaos. Surprise, surprise. But he's got a little bit of inspiration recently from seeing my Ordo Malleus play in the league. So he's going to be rocking the OM right now. Let's see how he fares. Very, very lucky special attack there from the Warlock. That was ridiculous. Yeah, indeed. Sending all those Grey Knight fellas flying. What a chad. So I wonder what DawnsElite is going to be going for. Going to be facing a Banshee double Guardian build. I really like that build from Antair. I think this is the optimal build against OM. Well, actually, as Farseer, I think... Oh my god, these Strike Squad are getting wrecked. They're getting absolutely slaughtered. They didn't get any specials, you see? That fight does come down to specials. I mean, look how close it is. Are they going to both wipe? Oh, that's so cool. No? Oh my god, he needs to get the kill. Come on, bolt pistol shots from the Demon Hunter. IST are trying, but they've got such bad accuracy whilst moving. Oh my god. He gets them. He gets them. Okay, well that is favourable still for Antair. Strike Squad are 450 and Banshees are only 350, so yeah. What a crazy start to the game though. It was quite unlucky really for DawnsElite. He didn't get any special attacks at all with his Strike Squad. Otherwise that would have obviously been quite a decisive fight. Of course, the Strike Squad did have support with the IST, whereas Guardians weren't there. Now the IST Guardian fight is just completely Guardian favoured. Guardians have the same HP by default as the IST, 100 each. The Guardians do 8.7 DPS to the 6 DPS of the IST, so go figure. Then Guardians get this upgrade and they now have 33% more HP. Yeah, IST get wrecked. Even when the IST have the Sarge, IST actually get more HP then. They still do less DPS than the Guardians. And because they end up having 6 models, they bleed more than the Guardians. Guardians are just in all ways superior, and that isn't counting the fact that Guardians have proper grenades, not crappy little instant fuse 0 damage grenades that the IST have. I'm not saying that's a balance problem. It's not, because the rest of the OM roster carries them, and that's why we only see one IST, because IST is something that you don't want to rely on. But that leaves you open to certain threats, like a tanky Merciless Warlock. Merciless Warlock? Well, he is quite merciless. Merciless Witchblade Warlock. You don't want to fight this guy in melee. He's going to be draining the energy of the Interceptors. He's got one of the most powerful special attacks in the game, and he's actually bloody tanky if he gets the Champion's Robes as well. Which normally, to be fair, not that good against Ordo Malleus because the Strike Squad can drain his energy. The Strike Squad are wiped. This guy right now is going to be a serious, serious threat. It's interesting how DawnsElite is opting for the Interceptors, which traditionally would be quite good in this matchup. Because traditionally you would see Shurikens. But we don't see any Shurikens right now. We're seeing Rangers with their pistols, and we're seeing this Warlock. Interceptors are going to be terrible against this Warlock. Warlock has the leap into combat as well, which makes Purgation not very good against him. And the Demon Hunter is getting his Armour of Fortitude. The problem for him right now is... Oh, that was a really bad time to get the long rifles. And Antair is Really overcommitting for the kill there. Oh, thank God for the kinetic pulse from the long rifles. Otherwise that could have been a teleport into retreat and a wipe on the Warlock. But right now, the Warlock is off the field and the Interceptors are free to just go crazy around the backlines. I don't really know why Antair went for the sniper rifle upgrade. I honestly would have just kept them with the pistols. The long rifles are great against setup teams, against range units that like to hug cover, because obviously long rifles, like all snipers, ignore cover in this game. But the main threats are the Demon Hunter and the Interceptors, and long rifles aren't very useful against them. Whereas if you get pistols, the pistols, if you're being shot by rangers with pistols, the squad will take 20% more damage, well, the model. So that's really nice to focus fire the Interceptors, the Demon Hunter. I don't know, I don't really think the long rifles are even an obvious upgrade right now, and you're paying quite a lot of resources for that. Also, if I was Enter, I would definitely be getting Champion's Robe, and I would be considering getting Banshees. Not now though, not now he's gone double upgraded Rangers. But if I went for just one default Ranger, replace the Banshees, I think something like that could have worked quite effectively. Nice rift into Purgation there. That would have caused 100% snare, so the Rangers couldn't just run into melee and tie up the Purgation. Purgation should just walk here, destroy this power node. Demon Hunter can deal with this. Oh, not very much. There's a Purg. Yeah. He really needs to be bashing. He can't really bash though. He can't get away with it because this Warlock is just unkillable. This would be made even worse if he had the Champion's Robe. I really don't know why Antair hasn't got the Champion's Robe. Like, why get those long rifles over the Champion's Robe? That makes zero sense to me. These long rifles just get countered by the Interceptors. Oh, what a beautiful grenade. Well, that's not a great engagement. So much for the Rangers getting countered by the Interceptors. But yeah, literally 4v1 really. That's not great for DawnsElite. IST there should not have engaged. They didn't do anything. They should have just been decapping the side. You see how the long rifles are actually quite useful right now to deal with the Demon Hunter in green cover. He isn't taking any damage right now because he's stasis from the Armor of Fortitude. But now you can see the long rifles doing some good chip. Oh, very nice nade. He gets the model, but he needs to get out of there. He will. I think he'll survive. Yeah, just. Going for the tanky melee build on the Demon Hunter, getting that Force Glaive in tier 2. And the Armor of Fortitude to give him his HP and HP regen. Oh, I see, need to be very careful. That was a really weird webway gate position. Why was there a webway there? Very aggressive. Purgation find it and deal with that relatively easily. Where are the Interceptors gone? Okay, they're running around the side. Now, when the Interceptors get their Justicar in tier 2 and start doing knockback upon teleport, then they'll be in a really good spot. They'll be able to deal with this blob of ranged units a lot more effectively. It's one of the biggest weaknesses of Interceptors in tier 1, the fact that they don't actually have any sort of disruption ability to deal with ranged units. Where are the Warlock specials? And then he gets Cloak of Shadows. I don't understand. There's no strike squad to drain your energy, why are you not going for Champion's Robes? The Cloak of Shadows is a really good war gear, but it's mostly for anti-ranged. So I don't get it. I don't understand why Antair's not going for the Champion's Robes. They'd have been amazing in that position right there. Eventually the Warlock would have procced a special, sent everyone flying. It's just weird. Either way, we've got... Oh, what? DawnsElite has gone for a beamer preemptively. That is very strange. I would not do that. just keep the incinerators, because incinerator purgation can 1v1 basically anything, which makes them an amazing capping unit. They can 1v1 basically every squad except the Merciless Warlock. And they also can bash power nodes super quick. Ugh. Well, the purgation are useless now, so that's not good. He's got purifiers out, which, yeah, it's not a bad shout to be honest. They're gonna basically roll over anything that Antair can throw at him. I don't know why Antair is going tier 3. Then again, I'm trying to think what he'd even get. Well, now that there's a beamer, you definitely don't go for a Wraith Lord, that's for sure. The Demon Hunter's got one of the best anti-vehicle war gears in the game, with his Armour of Damnation, the Rites of Exorcism ability. It's pretty long range, it's about 30 range, and it tracks. So as soon as a vehicle comes within range, it does a little blast of damage like a melter bomb, and it snares them. And if you combine that snare with the snare from the beamer, it will immobilize the vehicle. And, even better, because that wasn't good enough, it puts a minus 40% damage resistance debuff on the vehicle as well, so they take more damage from everything else. You combine that with the purifiers, and purifiers can basically solo a Falcon with ease. It's going to take seconds. And even a Wraith Lord, the purifiers would do very good damage to, because it removes their melee resist. Not to mention the beamer is going to be doing way more damage. So yeah, wouldn't go for vehicles. I think the Autark right now would be pretty good, but even she would get kind of wrecked in melee by the combination of the Interceptors and the Purifiers. So I kind of get why Antair's gone tier 3. He does have map control, well, he has really good VP control in particular, and he's got this farm over here, which I don't even know if DawnsElite has noticed. And obviously, being tier 3, I have to assume that it's going to be Seer Council coming out for Antair. That obviously is the Eldar's most elite melee squad, something that can actually stand toe-to-toe with the Purifiers and the Interceptors, not just stand toe-to-toe. Should honestly kick the shit out of them. But we'll see. With Demon Hunter support, it actually isn't going to be that one-sided in favour of the Seers. And again, it makes me question why we have a Cloak of Shadows Warlock. And honestly, in spite of being tier 3, I don't think this is very favourable for Antair, because there is now a Grey Knight Dreadnought on the way as well. You add the Grey Knight Dreadnought to the Purifiers and the Interceptors, and even if Seers are on the field, well, they're not going to be able to do too much, are they? There's no anti-vehicle right now for Antair. You see, he's only level 2, so he still has the chance to be knocked over by the Interceptors because they're also level 2. If the Warlock was level 3, then that whole thing wouldn't have happened. Or if he had the Champion's Robe, because he turns on the shield and he's knocked back immune. Don't know why he doesn't have the Champion's Robe. And you know, these long rifle ranges, they're just not achieving anything because they're not against the right targets. They're not for skirmishing. They're for engaged. They're for long-ranged fire support in what's the term for it? Sort of pitted, committed, ranged firefights. And that's not happening. And you won't get that as Eldar against Grey Knights in general, because Grey Knights do not want to do pitted, committed, ranged firefights. They're not the Imperial Guard. They're not Space Marines going double tax or something. They want to be in, they want to be out. They want to be in your face, beating you up. They want to hit and run. They don't want to stand and trade with ranged fire. That is why ISC are so cost ineffective. That's the whole point. That's not the design of Grey Knights. They go in, they go out. And because of that, the Rangers just don't really achieve a whole lot. Grey Knight Dreadnought starts off with that heavy flamer, just melts the generators. But, well, now DawnsElite has noticed this secondary power farm. I don't know what Antair's doing. He must be going for an avatar. To be fair, he does have the time for it. There's 400 plus VPs. But honestly, an avatar, I don't think it's going to do very well. I mean, it's basically a demon, right? It's the avatar of Cain, the god of war for the Eldar, who... I don't know how that shit works out exactly, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a demon. The Grey Knights are going to kick the shit out of the avatar. Just wait and see. To be fair, the Grey Knights don't actually have any buffs against demons in the game, except for the Grey Knight Terminators, which when they're upgraded actually do passively do 25% more damage to demons, which includes the avatar. Just an interesting fact for you there. DawnsElite could be going tier 3 right now, and probably should, to be honest, but even without tier 3 right now, we've got a Grey Knight Dreadnought, not going to do much of a flamer, but if it gets the multi-melter, hilariously, in spite of how daft that is for the lore, that will actually really hurt the avatar here, because the avatar is super heavy infantry and melter damage does bonus to heavy infantry. Or it can just go melee. The Dreadnought can just go melee. Then it has 1600 HP vehicle armor. It's going to be very effective against the avatar. Not to mention there is a beamer to snare it. You could go the Rites of Exorcism to immobilize it in place. The Purifiers do 3 models of power melee damage and 1 model of heavy melee. The power melee is actually stronger against the avatar. You can get plasma guns on your stormtroopers, and the Justicar on the Interceptor squad does power melee themselves. Not to mention the Force Glaive here is 71 DPS power melee. That's going to hurt the avatar. And the Demon Hunter executes that Ranger. Beautiful. I think the avatar is going to be in for quite a rough time right now. Let's see how it goes. This is going to be the initial engagement. The Interceptors jump in, obviously not realizing there is an avatar there, and there is going to be a Wrath of Cain. I think that's what it's called. Pretty good spike damage to the Interceptors. It's mostly about the control, the suppression, and the big high distance knockback that it does. But it's not really a great situation, to be honest, for the avatar. Warlock goes down. There's going to be a Wailing Doom, which misses everything. Did knock back there to the 2 Purifier models, but I don't think it actually did damage because, like, look at them, they barely took any damage. Now the Avatar's just going to charge the Dreadnought, but now the Dreadnought has its claws, and yes, the Avatar has far more HP, but the Avatar is only super heavy infantry armor, whereas the Dreadnought's vehicle armor. So the vehicle armor only takes 50% damage, super heavy infantry takes full damage from heavy melee, and you can see you've got a snare from the Purgation who now gets stasis out, and look at the damage coming into this avatar. You've got 4 power melee and 2 heavy melee models here, and the avatar is getting just torn to pieces. This is what the avatar deserves. Stupid demon. Stupid demon. And we have Grey Knight Terminators coming out as well. Antair is fucked. He is screwed. I don't know why he went for an avatar. You literally couldn't have thought of something worse. Tech tier 3 for an avatar. Why is he engaging? No. No. Oh my god, the miss micro. Why did the Purifier stasis as well? Oh my god. There was no need to stasis. I mean, he must have thought with it engaging it was going to use an ability, but it didn't. It was just a miss micro. If they didn't stasis, then this stupid avatar would have its final 200 HP long gone. The Dreadnought shouldn't be committing into the base. I don't think it can out DPS the healing, given that the avatar gets 50% damage resistance because it's in base. The healing is percentage base, and the avatar's got such high HP. Yeah, the Dreadnought cannot out DPS the heal. That said, to be honest, it doesn't matter because the VPs are getting low. By the time the avatar finishes off this Dreadnought, it then has to deal with Grey Knight Terminators, which are getting their Liber Demonica, which, rather ironically, helps them kill demons. And you thought that there was a lot of DPS coming onto the avatar already. Well, wait till you see what Grey Knight Terminators can do to the avatar. They will quite literally melt the avatar. Not literally, I don't know why I said that. It's not literal at all. DawnsElite is using Psychic Assailment on the Purifiers, boosting their range damage and range. Okay, okay mate, sure. And that's it, Antair. Okay, brilliant. I don't know what to say. This was quite a stomp. Antair go back to playing Grey Knights, stop playing Eldar. And if you're training DawnsElite, at least give him the respect by going for Champion's Robe, because going for Cloak of Shadows in that game made absolutely zero sense. Purifier's actually doing things, which, man, I love to see it. And guys, I hope that I can get a replay from the League, or even if not from the League, just in general, a bloody close game where I can use the Tier 2 anti-vehicle armor of the Demon Hunter with Purifiers. It is such a beautiful combo. It feels so good to be able to actually kill transports with melee. I love it. Hopefully I'll get that for you soon. Anyway, that's going to be all for this one. Thanks for tuning in, folks. If you want more, check out the Patreon. There is a huge repository of replays on there. There's something like 18 replays at this point that you get instant access to for just $5. Top it out.